Hello, my name is Roxanne Hudak. Today we will be discussing part 3 of our training plan, which is Leadership and Cultural Preparedness. This training is to understand how to work better with our Japanese counterparts to ensure a successful typhoon prediction model project. Today we'll be discussing the leadership role of a project manager in the typhoon prediction model project, conflict management skills you can use with our Japanese counterparts, and what to expect in your first business meeting and how to conduct yourself during a lunch or dinner. Finally, we'll discover how to dress when meeting with Japanese businessmen and women. As the project manager, you need to know Japanese business culture in and out because you are the person who the attention will be focused on. Also, other employees will be following your cues, so it is important to not make a mistake. As the project manager going through this training, you will need to understand and speak out when the training should be modified to fit the project better. Once the project managers are in Japan, they will also be coaching and mentoring their assistants and doing business and how to conduct themselves in Japan. This will ensure good team building skills for the assistants. A list of ideas was contributed to the formulation of this training plan to help those project managers to successfully do business in Japan. Once the project managers have successfully completed this training, their participation in brainstorming resolutions will be needed to follow on training for other project managers. Conflict management. Be very open and friendly during the initial meeting, as the Japanese are very relationship oriented, and do everything in your power to not refuse a request. The Japanese are looking for long-term relationships. They do not like counteroffers, and both parties are expected to bring forth their best offer. Never raise your voice or speak with excessive hand gestures during a business meeting. However, business conflict may occur, so when involved in a conflict with the Japanese, openly try to resolve the conflict and keep the relationship in mind. Before the conflict can be resolved and the meeting progresses, you have to have harmony, and no one needs to be obligated to the other person on the conflict of the resolution. Now we'll discuss culture in a business meeting. The first part of any business meeting is the greeting between the two parties. Like we mentioned before, the Japanese are a culture based on respect, so keep this in mind during the greeting phase. The most formal greeting is the bow. You should bow first and wait to see if the Japanese man or woman bows or comes in closer for a handshake. Men should bow with their hands at their sides, and women should bow with hands on their thighs. If the Japanese come in for a handshake, politely offer your hand. Expect a weaker handshake than you're probably used to. This does not mean any sign of disrespect or weakness. They just tend to give a weaker handshake. The exchanging of business cards is another formal greeting. You should exchange your business card with both hands in a slight bow as you offer it. Both English and Japanese business cards should be offered. You can have one side of the card be in English and the other in Japanese. Once the greeting is complete, you will all sit down at a table. Do not choose the nearest seat and sit down. Seat placement is very important in the Japanese business culture, and people are seated in their hierarchy. Wait to be directed to a seat and ask to sit down. Once the meeting starts, remain respectful at all times. Remember, you aren't just selling a business proposal, you are forming a long-lasting relationship. If the business meeting goes well, expect to be invited to a lunch or a dinner. These meals are an extension of the business meeting, and so they should be treated as such. When you greet your hosts again for the meal, be respectful and offer a bow once again. The formal greeting should be done every time you greet. If there is no business meeting prior to the lunch or dinner, then give your business cards out during the greeting. Just like at the business table, wait to be shown your seat at the dinner table. Once the meal is served, chopsticks will be expected to be used. If possible, try to practice ahead of time, but always follow a few simple rules. Do not stab your food with the chopsticks. Do not point the chopsticks when talking to someone, and do not lick the sauces off the chopsticks. When in doubt, place them on your plate when not in use. Also, alcohol will normally be served at these events. Try to not refuse, but drink in moderation. What to wear is important to show your respect to your Japanese counterparts. The Japanese tend to dress conservatively, but they do follow basic fashion trends. They normally wear suits of dark, solid colors, so you should too. Make sure the suit is fitted properly to your body. Women still don't have a strong role in the Japanese business world as they do in America, so they might be a little thrown off seeing a woman in power. In order to ease this cultural difference, women should wear a dark-colored pantsuit and keep their hair short or tied back. Remember, your first impression is based a lot on what you wear, so make sure you look professional and conservative. Today we focus on the project manager's role in this training plan. The success of the project may rely heavily on the project team understanding the business culture of our Japanese counterparts. The project manager is responsible for making sure the project team is prepared to conduct business in Japan. We discussed the culture in the business place as well as having a business meal. Finally, we covered how to dress in a business situation in Japan. Are there any questions?